the meeting so that you will have the video later to also follow up and help you to do them by yourself on your own. So we let it load, of course, some waiting there to be done. Hope it takes not very long so that we can proceed. Okay. It seems to have loaded. So I'll show you. I was supposed to show you 4 things, but one we did through the assignment that we marked last time. And that was the list view. List view is one of those things that you can always use to display information on your activity. So that leaves us with 3. And the first one is called a toast message. Toast message is a very simple way of communicating with somebody, especially somebody using your app. If you have a short message that you want to tell them, the toast message is very good for doing that. It's a very good way of doing that. So that's one. It's called a toast message. And you will see it. We'll create it with you guys here. The second one is called a string buffer. String buffer. String buffer is the second one. Also very, very nice, very appropriate to use. Usually has very, very nice displays that you can quickly use to show somebody what you want them to see, and then you let them proceed. The third one I'll show you is called a dialog box. Dialog box, those ones that ask you a question. They pose a question to you, and you're like supposed to type a yes or a no, right? A yes or a no before somebody continues. I'll show you that. And then there are 2 more, which I don't think we'll get time to do. There's one more called recycler bin. I think we can cover it next time. And then there is also what is called a notification bar. Notification bar. When you use our phones, and let's say you want to switch on your data or you want to increase light, sana, usually you kind of drag the screen chini kidogo, and then you can activate such things hapo nyuma. So it is called a notification. That's where you get notifications, and that one. That one and the recycler bin we will cover next time, right? Sawa. So the first thing here is to design a small interface where we will display the toast message. The toast message is the first one we are starting with, and we need an interface to display it on. So I'm going to design that interface right here. And I need to remove this one here, this text view that is usually here. So I can remove this. And once it is removed, then we can proceed and design a basic. So what there is that the toast message really has its own way of displaying itself. So we don't need an edit text or a text view to display it, but what we want to do is to put a button which we will click to display it, to display the toast message. So we will have this button right here at the center. So that will be one of them. So we will click this and display the toast message down here. And then we will also need another button which we will click so that we go to the next activity. Because the way I want us to do them is that the toast message will be on this activity here. And then the string buffer will be on the second activity. And the dialog box will be on the third activity. So we'll have like 3 different activities here. So we begin with some constraining here, just like I told you last time, by the way. Now it is not a must for you to always use constraints. Okay, you can go to the linear, you can go to table layout, you can go to those ones we studied. But anyway, here I'm using the constant layout. So I'm just going to activate that and activate this and activate this. This looks so long, maybe I can keep it at 60. I type 60 over there so that here we have 60. And then over here, 121, 121, 104. I think those ones can remain like that. And then now this one here, we can have maybe at 32, this space here. And then over here, we want to align it with the other one. So we have 121. And on this side, we will have 104, like the first one. 104. There we go. So we are good. Okay, we have our 2 buttons. This one, the word we want to see here is show toast instead of button. So we will scroll down up to here and then change this one to show toast. That way. And see it, show toast. And then this one will take us to the next activity. So down here, instead of button, we'll write next activity. There. So I believe so far so good. No confusion. You can follow. And hopefully no problem. So next, we need to declare both of these buttons. You guys know that. That's what we've been doing. So we come to the Java file. Here it is. And by the way, before we come there, we need to know their IDs. Very important. You check which ID do they have. See the ID property? Yeah. So the first one, its ID is called button. And the second one, its ID is called button 2. So as you go to declare them, you need the ID. So that when you come here at the beginning of the class, you should be able to do the declaration without a problem. So the first button, here, then the second button, here. We are good with the declaration. This class wants to be imported, so you just put your mouse on it and then you click import class. Then the error will go away. So begin by doing declaration. And then secondly, you come here and you initialize them. So you begin with the first one and you do what we've been doing. There it is. Come to the second one. Now what we've been doing there. There it is. So the first thing to do, declare. The second thing to do, initialize. This one is usually called initializing. Initialize the what it gets. Those things we usually build on the interface. So Benson, I don't know why you'd want to record anything. You can see the meeting is being recorded. And I'm saying this is the same video I will give you people. So why do you need a separate record? I don't understand. Okay, so make sure you declare and make sure also you initialize. And then we said that you need to click this button and then down here you will see the toast message. So let's begin with that. The button that needs to be clicked needs to have a click event. So that one, usually we write like this, the button ID. Ile ya kwanza, ID yake ni button. And then you say set on click. So let me give you a small secret. When you are typing these things, and you know this is the one you are looking for, don't type it mpaka mwisho. Just click it. After it shows up here, just click it and press enter so that it comes here by itself. If it comes here by itself, you will avoid typing mistakes. You know those errors that take a lot of your time trying to fix. You will avoid them if you just click the option. Okay. Similarly, inside the bracket, you also start a new view. Ikishaonekana hapa, just click and press enter so that it can put all the remaining codes for you. You can see now the way a lot of things have been put for us. So you can save your time and even avoid mistakes by just doing that. Okay. So here, let's create the toast message. Hapa chini. Right. So it's a very simple thing. Usually you begin by You begin by typing the word toast. Yeah, that's what you do. And you say dot make text. Right, make text. That's how you go about it. Then you put a bracket. And then you put the name of this activity, this Java class where you are typing it. This one. Like this one is called main activity. So you type here main activity. Hata ndio hii. They always pop up here. Okay. They always pop up. And then you say, it is like saying you are referring to this class. So you must add here dot this Evo. Then you put a comma. And then here you put the message that you want to see in quotes. Like if you want to see welcome to my app, if you want to say welcome to my app, that is what you type there. If you want to say data inserted successfully, that's what you put there. What message do you want to see? Okay, so as we will say my post message. Okay, so you begin by putting this, then you go to the message you want to see, then you go to how long do you want to see that message there? Do you want it for a longer time or do you want it for a shorter time? That one you indicate like this. It is either for a longer time or for shorter time. These two are the ones you go for. So if you say length long, okay, then it will be slightly for a longer time. And it is not like very long anyway. It is only 3 seconds. That's what they mean by longer time. If you put length short, then it will be seen there for less than 3 seconds. So very short period of time. And then you now can display the toast message. Now you say dot show. Dot show. So that's all you need, guys, to be able to do this. Okay. So remember, it is toast dot make text. Then you refer to the class. So you refer to the class, then you say which message you want to see. So you say that, then you say how long do you want it to show there. Then you can now show it. That's all we are doing. Okay, so let us run the program and see whether we can see that message. So you run the program right here, that way, and you wait. Okay, so it's always good to just give your program time until it is ready. Like now, ours is ready. So you can now see our button. The two of them are here. And you can also see the name of our program. We had called it display interfaces. And now it is time to run it. Actually, it is already running. It is just waiting for us to click this button so that it can show us the message down here. Okay, so that's what we want to do. All you need to do is to click that button there, and down here is that message. So that brief message, you can see it disappears very fast. This message here is called a toast message. Whatever you want to say here, it will display for you. All you need to do is to make sure that message you want to display, you put it here, like I showed you earlier on. You need to put it here. So as we are seeing my toast message, because it is what we placed here, right? It is what we can see. So if you change here, then you will see a different message down here. Okay. So guess what? All you need is this one line. That one. From there all the way to the end. We have explained what each part is doing. There it is. Okay, so as we agreed, we are supposed to click this one, this second button here, to take us to the next activity. But you see, we have not added that activity. We still don't have it. So even if we click here, nothing will happen. You can see that. Nothing is happening. So let us stop the program and let us add another activity. So the way to add that activity is very simple. Yeah, you want to add another activity. Just click File, go to New, and go to Activity and choose Empty Activity. That's the process. Click File, then click New, then click Activity, then click Empty Activity. So once you click this, you give it a name and any other thing you want to change if you want. I'm not going to change anything because I'm good with it the way it is. So I just click Finish. So we have the second activity. So just like we said, each one of these activities comes with XML file. Ndio hii hapa. Hiyo ya pili tumeongeza, and then the Java file. You can also see it here. Right. So the second activity, the blank one, is here. You can see it. There it is. So this is the one we want to load. When we click what? We click the second button in the first activity, which is this one. When we click this. Okay. So for you to display that activity when you click this button, you need to prepare a click event on this button. And as we now know, it is called what? Button 2. Ile ya kwanza ilikuwa inaitwa button 1. So you use button 2 to do a click event. So you just do button 2 again, like we did. Just pick what pops up like that. Then it puts everything for you. And then now here is where you start. That is where you call that button, that activity to be displayed. So it's very simple. You just use an intent. Yeah. And then new intent. And then now here you refer to the class. Mnakumbuka hii? The same way we did here. This is what you need. And then you put here. And then you say which Java class are you linking to. That Java class is the next, the one we just added, DOE. So you pick it and you say dot class. Again, this one needs to be imported. So you just import it like that. And then, yes, just like that. Put semicolon. And then down here, you now can start that new activity. Like that. Yeah. So this one, it works all the time. It will work for you whenever you want to load a new activity. This is all you need to type. This one here. So with that, we should be good. So now when we click this button here, Pili, you will see that second activity, this one, the one that is blank, you will see it getting loaded. So able to one, we give it time to load. So here we go. So we show our toasts, and then now we can move to the next activity, which is there. See now? So here. So this is where we will do the second task, which is called the string buffer. The string buffer now we will do here. Okay, but I hope you understood how we came from this one to the next activity this way. Okay, so let us now show, I've now shown you what is called a toast message. Let us go to the second thing and show you what is called a string buffer. string buffer. So I'll do the same thing. I'll put two buttons here. The first one, we will click to see the string buffer. The second one, we will click to go to the next activity, right? So very simple button, put it here. And we bring another one. Sawa. There we go. Two of them. So we will click this first one to show us the string buffer. Then we click the second one to show us the next activity. So we can change this here. You remember the way we did the first one? Instead of button, we want to see show what? Show buffer. So come down here and there it is. Show buffer. There you go. Oh, I want it up here. So this is the one I want to put show buffer on. There we go. This one, I just want to say next activity. Next activity. I don't know there. So we are good. Just need to constraint this one. 60, for example. And here 108, then I bring this one that way. 2 98, so that we align them. Then this is 108. Yeah, good. So that is our second activity, not looking bad. So it is time now to write the program for this button so that when we click it, we will see what is called a string buffer. But you know what we must do? We must declare them. So for you to declare them, what do you need? You need their IDs. So what is the idea of this? This one. What about this? This one here. So button 3 and button 4 is what we are going to declare. So remember, this activity is for this other Java class, this one. So this is the one we open. Okay. We are not going back to the first one because uko tumetoka. We did our business there, tumemaliza. So we are going to the second class. So this is where you declare the two buttons. we go. Import this one. And down here, you initialize them. Three. And then button 4. Yeah, so same thing we did earlier on the other side, same thing here. So button 3 is the first one. We want to create a click event for it. There we go. Same thing. I hope there's no confusion. Same thing we did the other side. So let's just assume that we want to display some values here. I want to display somebody's name. And somebody's contacts. And somebody's date of birth. Yeah. We want to display these three values on a string buffer. So here we can say create values to display. Okay. Then down here now, you create a string buffer. That's what you need to do here. So I'm going to create it as follows. You can see it here. It's called a string buffer. I pick it and then I create an object for it. And then start it like that. And then now these values need to be added to it. So here we can say add the values to the buffer. Add the values to the buffer. So very simple. Just use the object, its object. Then you say append. Okay. And so we begin with the name. We would like to see name. Don't worry, if this looks complicated, I'll explain. I'll explain it. No worries. So basically, we've used this variable here, this object here, to add a value. Adding a value usually is like is the same as saying append. And then we'll add this name. Which name? This one, which is Joy. So we'll see Joy there. And before we see Joy, we'll see this label here, indicating that we are talking about name. So that's the same way we add the contact. Just copy that and paste contact, contacts, and the same way we add date of birth. Date of birth, here will be. But we will need to, the work of this is to make sure that the next display begins on a new line, right? The next display begins on a new line. Right. You will see how it looks like, don't worry. So if you need two blank lines below them, then you put these two. But basically, just that's a new line, that's all. Then here, so here, don't forget, we created it, and then here we've added the data to it, and then here we need to display it. Okay, we need to make sure we can see it on the screen. So here we say display the string buffer. How do you do that? You need to put it in a dialog, a lat dialog dot builder. A lat dialog dot builder. And then now you have an object of that. And then you have new alert dialog dot builder, and then you refer to the activity where you are creating it. Yeah, which in our case hii ilikuwa ya kwanza, but now we are here, so you need to pick that. Okay, dot this. Very nice looking. So basically, we simply want to display it. So as you display it, you have to create the frame where it will be displayed. And then we say that if it is displaying, you can cancel it. Set cancelable. In other words, once it is displayed, you can click anywhere on the screen to remove it. So we set this one as true. And then it is good to give it a title. Which title do you want to see? Set title. We will call it user data. And then we will convert the message to string builder dot set message. Buffer dot to string of that. Then finally builder dot show. So show, simply remember the same one we used on the toast message, just to show it. Okay. So we have finished that. So whenever you're using a string buffer, remember, you need to know where the data is coming from, and then you need to create it, and then you need to add data to it, and then you need to display it. Just those steps enough. So let's run it. Let's see how it looks like. Okay, so here we go again. Our toast message is still there. After we see the toast message, we can now go to the next activity. When we go to the next activity, we see our two buttons. So this one is to show us the buffer. So let's have a look at the buffer. We click this one, and here we go. So those details, they're easy up, the ones we collected earlier on. And here they are. So the name was Joy. You can see Joy. Contact was 1 to 7. You can see that. Date of birth was 12th of June 2020. You can see that. And this white area, yeah, that white thing, DOE, it's what we were creating here. Okay. So we gave it a title, this one, the title DOE, you can see. And we changed the data to string. This is string data. And we said, show it. And that is why we are able to see it. Then we said, if you want to remove it here, DOE, click anywhere on the screen. Okay. Set cancelable. You want to remove it here, click anywhere, it will disappear. That is what this one means. It's called buffer. If you want to show this one, if you want to show this one more than once, you want to show it more than once, then you can use a loop, right? You can use a programming loop to do that. For example, I want to show it twice. I would do something like that here. I would just say for integer I starting from 1 and going up to 2. I think we write it this way. Going up to 2 and increasing by 1. Then we do that. And then we close it here. So what will happen is it will display round 1 when I is 1, and then it will come again and display it round 2 when I is 2. So we will see this thing here, or rather we will see this thing here. Mara ngapi? Mara mbili. Let's have a look at that. So our toast is there. Go to the next activity, and then our buffer now is here. So you can see we now have 2 separated displays. Kwa nini? Because of this loop here. Okay, so you can do it as long as you want. Just use the loop. Okay, so the last thing is to ensure when we click this button, we go to the next activity. Where's that next activity? Let us add it. So it is file, new. Program is still delaying. File, new, activity, empty activity. That is now going to be our activity number 3. So first of all, let's link to it. So we'll just pick from here. Okay, hapa chini, what will we do? We'll say button number 4. Nakumbuka ile 4. Set on, click listener, new view, and then we'll create an intent for it to take us to the next activity. So we are currently in main activity 2. So that's what we need to refer to. And then we are going to main activity 3. That's what we need to put there. We need to import intent. Then we need to start what? Activity. So that one will take us to it. And then now we go to the last activity here. Let us give a button there. The work of this button is to display for us what we are calling the dialog box. So we just try to stretch it. So the ID is there. On the text, we'll say display dialog, something like that. Then we'll constraint it. I have 98 here, 104 over here. Kadhalika na kadhalika. Yeah, so very quickly, we just need to declare it. And by the ID is button what? Did you see it? Check here, button 5. So that's what we need to use. Button 5, sorry. Button 5. Then here, button 5 find this r.id.5. Then now, button 5 dot set quick listener in view. Okay, so let's go. Let's create what's called a dialog box. So we go back to alert dialog again dot builder. In other words, we are building it, we are creating it. So create an object, then new this is capital B. Yeah. Yes, new alert dialog dot builder. In our case, the class now is main activity 3. Apple dot this. It's referring to the class. In serious. So here we set the message. In other words, the message, the one you want to see. Set message. Then we are saying, just an example, do you want to end the program? Okay. So set cancelable. This time around we put false because we don't want it to end when we click on the side. Yeah. Then we say that set positive button. Sorry, I ended this before it's time. So we'll say set positive button. So the positive button, you can see it here, is the one that will contain yes. And then the negative button is the one that will contain no. So here they are, there's this, and then there's this. Then here is yes. And then we say, comma, new, dialog interface dot on click listener. So when you see something long like this, don't bother to type. Just select and press enter, because there's a lot of code that it puts for you here. Okay, you can imagine from here all the way to here, they've been put for us. Okay, so here we simply say if we click it according to this, the program will go back to the interface. Okay, but if we click the no button, okay, the no button here, set negative button. If you do that, same thing will happen. So we just say new dialog interface. So there it is again. Just pick the whole of it and then do the same thing. And then so for E now we have a semicolon apple. And it is time to make sure it is visible now. So we just do alert dialog alert equals dot create. And so dot create means we are creating it, we need to see it, and then we give it a title. Set title. And in our case, we'll call it dialog message. And then finally, again, we will do what? Show it. Yeah, just that way. I don't know if I'm moving very fast. You definitely will have the video to watch at your pace. But let's see how the program behaves. So again, we've been seeing our toast like forever now. Then we move to the next activity. Then we see our buffer. We move to the next activity. Then we can see our dialog. So this is what is called a dialog, right? I forgot what? I forgot G here. I meant dialog message in the what? Right here. Yeah. This should be dialog. The title is the one you are seeing here. So the message was what? Do you want to end the program? If I click yes, then it goes with this, which simply means if I click yes, it will finish. That means it will take me back to the interface. If I click no here, it will do the same thing, taking me back to the interface. But you can do different things according to the situation for your app. So most important thing is how to handle the yes button and the no button, and then how to make sure the dialog box is visible. You see this frame we create with this title, the message, and then finally we are able to see it because of this. Okay. So I click yes, it goes back to the interface, the original interface or the previous interface. If I click no, it still does the same thing. You can see that one here. So guys, those are the three things I wanted to show you. And it is my hope that this video is going to be helpful. It's going to help you to develop your own so that you can also use them like the way you want. So here is your assignment. I don't know whether it is fitting in the screen, but let me try to reduce it. So it is our second, right? Second assignment. And it is worth 5 marks. And it will be presented on 27th February. That is next Monday. And the presentation will be done after the class. So the assignment requires you to create this activity interface you are seeing here to help you capture first name, last name, ID number, and the gender. Okay, this is how the activity will look like. Right, so we are needed to, and this is very important, we are needed to enter and capture details for 3 different people. And I would like to make it simpler. Just use the details of your group members. If they still don't have an ID, just use what? Just use a dummy ID. Just use a dummy ID. But we need 3 guys. The first person, you capture their names and ID number and gender, and you submit. And the second person, you capture their names, ID number and gender, and you submit. And the third person, you capture their names and ID number and gender, and you submit. You submit where? You submit for display on a string buffer. The same one I've shown you on example number 2 or task number 2. So there it is. Don't worry about it. I'm putting it on WhatsApp and also on Moodle. So don't worry about copying it or whatever. Yeah. So what we look forward to is that if we run your program next week as you present, it will just be one activity, by the way. The rest of them you can ignore. It will just be one activity, like this last one, this one. All I expect is this. But now the difference will be upper juu, you know, your button, this button here, itateremshwa. Okay, maybe somewhere here. Ile space imebaki is where you will create this interface here. I want to see these ones, and I want to see these ones, and I want to see this button. Actually, this button, DOE, you will call it submit. Here, I'm calling it display dialog. So utaiteremsha ikae somewhere here, and then the remaining space you will create these ones, right? So when you click submit, just like we are clicking here, where are we? Sorry, we should be here. Yeah, this is the one I'm talking about. When we click submit, we want to see 3. Here I'm seeing 2, but for you, I would like to see 3. Okay. So let's just do it so that there's no confusion. It's just a matter of running this loop to 3. Yeah. Let's run it to help me, because I know there are guys who will say I didn't say something. A number of you lost marks last week because they were claiming hawakunisikiza ama hawakunisikia nikisema mambo ya list view. Fine. This one is now being recorded, so I want you to get it clearly. So the interface will we've agreed vile itakuwa. It will look like this, and when you run the code, you will have something like this. The only difference in your case is that instead of picking values directly like this, you will first have to enter them into this interface. So you enter, you click submit. You enter again, you click submit, and you enter again, you click submit. So that I'll see 3 different people here with 3 different, with the different values. The values are first name, last name, ID number, and gender. So if your group members are Kennedy, Joshua, and Lavender, let's say those are your group members, then here I would like to see details of Kennedy. And then here I would like to see details of Lavender. And then here I would like to see details of whatever, 3 different names, and therefore 3 different details. All of them must be entered through this interface that you will develop. So I'm putting this assignment on your WhatsApp sasa hivi, and I'm also putting it on Moodle, the virtual campus. Utaipata huko. Presentation is a time like this next week after tumesoma hiyo lesson ya hiyo siku. I'm open for questions, but if they're not there, I will end the meeting and wish you a good evening.